If it feels like everyone around you is already building things with AI, automating their work, and moving faster than you, that's normal. Your feed makes it look like everyone is ahead. One person is building agents, another is automating a business, another is posting videos saying this new model changes everything. And that creates the wrong conclusion. I'm already too late. But usually that's not the real problem. The real problem is that AI is being presented to you as an endless stream of updates instead of a practical skill. While some people keep chasing every new release, others take one real task, solve it with AI, and that's how they actually improve. In this video, I want to show you a calmer and more useful path. Not how to learn all of AI, but how to start using it in a way that actually helps you now. The biggest beginner mistake is starting with platforms instead of problems. People open a list: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Midjourney, Runway, N8N, Zapier, local models, agents, and they assume they need to understand all of it first. But that's not how it works. If you start with tools, you get overwhelmed fast. If you start with a problem, everything becomes simpler. Don't ask, which AI should I learn? Ask instead, what takes too much time in my work? What do I keep postponing? What do I repeat manually all the time? Where do I need more speed, structure, or ideas? That is where useful AI adoption actually begins. Not with trendy platforms, but with a real bottleneck in your life or work. Once you've identified the problem, you don't need a zoo of tools. You need one main entry point. Pick one AI assistant and use it as your main workspace for a while. It doesn't matter much whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. What matters is stopping the constant switching and starting to build real skill. The same tool can help you almost every day with drafts, analysis, ideas, outlines, messages, learning, decision making, and problem solving. The point is not to marry one platform forever. The point is to stop being a tourist in AI. Once you become strong with one assistant, the others become much easier to understand. Another thing that slows people down is how they talk to AI. They give it short, flat instructions like, write a post, give me ideas, make a plan, and then they wonder why the answer feels generic. AI performs poorly when the task is framed lazily. It performs much better when it gets a real brief. Think of it not as a search engine, but as a new teammate. It needs to understand what you're doing, who it's for, what the goal is, what the constraints are, what tone you want, and what kind of output you expect. For example, instead of saying, give me video ideas, you could say, I run a YouTube channel about practical AI use. My audience is beginners who feel overwhelmed by too many tools. I need 10 video ideas that are simple, useful, and clickable. For each one, give me a hook and explain what problem it solves. That's when AI becomes genuinely helpful. But even a good brief is not the final level. AI becomes far more useful when you use it not just to generate answers, but to think through problems with you. Most people do this. Ask one question, get one answer, copy it, move on. That is a shallow mode. A much better approach is to involve AI in the decision-making process itself. For example, instead of asking, tell me what to choose, say, help me think this through. First, clarify my situation, identify weaknesses in my current approach, and then suggest several options. That changes the whole interaction. Now, AI is not just producing text. It is helping you structure the problem, notice important details, and reach a stronger conclusion. In many situations, you don't need fast words. You need clarity. And that is where AI becomes especially powerful. Once you have the basic skill, the next step is to stop starting from zero every time. Look at your repeated tasks. What do you do again and again? Write emails, create content, do research, review long documents, build plans, prepare for meetings, edit text, analyze data. If a task repeats, it can become a system. Save the prompts that work. Create a clear structure for your inputs. Break the task into steps. Define the output you want. Over time, you stop having random chats and start building a personal set of working templates. That's when AI starts saving you real time, not when it gives you one impressive answer, but when it becomes part of how you work. There is another trap. Endless learning without real application. People watch tutorials, save useful posts, read threads, collect prompts, but their actual work stays the same. That creates the illusion of progress. But that is not how skill is built. Skill only appears when you take a real task and push it to an actual result. For example, reducing the time you spend writing emails, speeding up content creation, building a template for competitor research, processing documents faster, organizing messy notes, preparing meeting briefs in 10 minutes instead of 40. You do not need to enter AI as a whole. Take one specific thing that already exists in your life, then solve it with AI until it works. That is when learning stops being theory and becomes practice. If you don't know how to begin, here's a simple plan. Day 1, choose one AI assistant. Don't compare everything, just commit to one. Day 2, list the tasks you repeat regularly. Day 3, choose one task that is either annoying or too time consuming. Day 4, describe that task clearly for AI. who you are, what you do, and what result you need. Day 5. Test different prompt versions and compare the quality. Day 6. Refine the process until it becomes a usable template. Day 7. Save the final version and use it in real work. After 1 week, you may not have general knowledge about AI, but you'll have something better. One practical workflow that genuinely helps you. So the main takeaway is very simple. To start using AI, you do not need to know everything. You do not need to understand every model. You do not need to try every new service. And you definitely do not need to panic because someone online is already doing something more advanced. What matters much more is this. Identify real tasks, provide clear context, get useful output from AI, and turn good results into repeatable processes. That is the real skill, not collecting tools, not memorizing trendy terms, but using AI in a way that removes friction and strengthens your work. Don't start with ambition, start with usefulness. One assistant, one task, one working template. That is more than enough to begin the right way. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. More useful AI content is coming soon.